Welcome back, everyone, to the After the Scales podcast, episode 40, presented by DJD Graphics. I'm Jacob Dove of Phenom Motorsports, along with Shaun Blight of Canadian Racing Tours. And on today's episode, we have small block and big block driver, the number 25 out of Ransomville, New York, ERICK RUDOLPH. ERICK, thanks for being on the podcast today.
Hey, glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
So, ERICK, obviously you're coming off this past weekend. You ran the 200 laps at Oswego. You started 22nd, finished 10th. Talk to us about that and overall what you're looking for with Super Dirt Week.
It was just the whole week was a grind. We got kind of set back with our time trial efforts, but we're able to have good heat races or qualifiers, whatever you want to call them. And we're able to get in the race and, 100 car entries in both or shortly under. I don't know which one. That was half the battle. And once we were in, we advanced spots. We'd like to advance a few more, but I think a 7th place in the small block and then a 10th place in the big block. It's not great, but it's okay.
Yeah, Eric, you were one of the few guys who really moved up in both features. What kind of went wrong, I guess, in qualifying? Because your car was obviously pretty good. Just for those who maybe aren't familiar with the track at Oswego, where they pile the dirt on going into this event, what kind of goes into qualifying as well?
It was. I think if we went out maybe earlier in the small block, we might have been a little bit better. Even with our time trial efforts, I wasn't upset with the car. It was just didn't have the overall speed we needed. I felt like we had a good race car, which come to fruition and was true. But then the big block, I think I was in the first group, and there really wasn't a big sample size on where the track was going to be fast. I ran the line I thought was probably going to be okay, and turns out maybe I should have done a little something different, but you'll live and learn.
And coming off of Oswego, obviously Matt Williamson took home the win in the 150-lap feature, and Stuart Friesen led every single lap in the 200-lapper. What's it like going, night in and night out, running with Stuart Friesen, Matt Shepard, Matt Williamson, all those guys who are on top of the game and battling with them?
They're certainly the best there is with the dirt modifieds. Matt Williamson, he's kind of came into his own the last handful of years, but as far as Shepard and Friesen go, they've been the guys for over maybe a decade or so. So they're definitely the guys up there, and they win their fair share of races for a reason. They're great competitors, got good equipment, and got good teams.
All right, Eric, talk to us about your 2024 in general. I know you run Ransomville on Friday nights, your hometown track. How would you categorize your 2024 season overall, and maybe some of the highlights?
On our weekly stuff at Ransomville and Canandaigua, we didn't run every single week at either of those places, but we ran probably maybe half the races at each. We weren't that good at those places. Had a lot of success at Ransomville and Canandaigua in the past on a weekly basis. I don't think we didn't get any wins at Ransomville or Canandaigua, but it seemed like our car was really good at our team and car were really good at traveling. We got 20 wins, just at different venues and tracks and stuff like that, which, not running weekly at places gives you the opportunity to be a little flexible on where you end up racing and going to some new places and not get into the weekly grind of, racing for points at a track. We enjoyed that. We had success doing that. We got wins at Woodhull and several tracks in Western Pennsylvania. Batavia, we got some wins. I'm not sure what else. I don't have a paper here with everything on it, but we had a successful year, and we still got a little bit to go, but it is coming to an end here soon.
Yeah, Eric, you mentioned about success, and I feel like you've had a lot of success throughout your career. You have over 350 plus wins through various different race cars. You started out in karts and TQ midgets and worked your way up through the ranks to where you are now. Talked about, how you got started. You come from a racing family and how you've gotten to where you are now.
Yeah, I raced. I started racing young, racing go karts, and then like you mentioned, ran TQs, ran some asphalt stuff for a handful of years. Been doing dirt modified stuff probably since 2012 or 11. Cutting my teeth with the TQ midgets, I really felt like helped a lot. Those are really hard cars to drive. They're demanding in a way, and I had a lot of fun doing that. Up until up until last year, I was running indoors for Lafler in the TQ. I had a lot of fun doing that too.
And I'm old enough, Eric, to remember your dad racing. Remember watching him as a young kid, racing some of the Western New York tracks, both asphalt and dirt modifieds. What was it like growing up, kind of not in his shadow, but just kind of as a kid watching him racing, and how he's kind of been an influence on your racing career growing up and up until now?
Obviously he's helped me every step of the way. He is my dad, and that's what dads do. They do everything they can to see their children succeed. And my grandpa as well. He's been there every step of the way. Or, ever since the go kart days, he's been building motors and stuff like that. He still does it. Now he's still my engine guy, and they're so knowledgeable, and try to retain everything that I can from them. They're obviously very smart people. And as far as watching my dad race, I actually never watched him race before. I think he stopped racing in the early 90s. I was born in 92, so never seen him race, but obviously he was really good in his own right. Run Mr. Dirt and a bunch of wins and championships with the DirtCAR, and then he did the asphalt modified, which he liked doing that the best. That's what he liked. He liked the technicalities of the cars and the strategy and stuff like that. That's what he enjoyed most, and he had a ton of success doing that too.
Now, there's no doubt that you're in big block modified country. Someone like myself who's down here in Florida, we only really get to see the modifieds come when, there's Volusia with the dirt cars and Alltech and even sometimes Ocala Speedway. So for someone like myself, it's kind of hard to keep up unless, you're watching, supercar dirt car series on the Dirt Vision and stuff like that. But I feel like, the sport itself, it's kind of been overlooked. Dirt late models are super popular, obviously sprint cars and all that, but sometimes the modifieds don't get as much recognition. Where do you think, modifieds as a whole is going? Because I know when they come down to Florida here, there's so many cars, and Super Dirt Week, it's, you have so many cars showing up. But even I see on social media, like people wondering, oh, there's a $53,000 to win race and only 30 cars show up. So I'm curious to hear your opinion about that.
I think it's healthy. I don't think it's going away anytime soon. As far as 30 cars showing up to that race, I'm not sure about. But as far as the recognizableness of it, I mean, it is regional. It's, basically New York and Canada, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. So, I mean, it is regionalized. So, I mean, it's not going to get the national recognition as the late models would and the sprint cars, obviously. But I think it is healthy. I don't think it's dying per se, but you'd like to see things a little better, but so would everybody.
And I was curious, you touched on earlier that your dad really liked the asphalt modified stuff. You've given it a try over the years. What is it about the dirt modified that really hit home with you? Like what is it about that you're really drawn to that?
Well, I was doing the asphalt modified stuff, I think for like I was 16 to 21-ish, and I was good at that. I liked it. I didn't really like the strategy stuff of it. I really just wanted to, go in and get in the car and drive hard, and I didn't like talking on the radios. Didn't like the mirror stuff. It just wasn't my brand racing, I guess. the other thing is to take the asphalt modified stuff real seriously was to follow the NASCAR modified tour there, and going out to New England every weekend and spend 3 days up there for one race, for practice one day and a qualifying the next, and then wait around all day to race your feature or the big race or whatever. It just wasn't doing it for me. It just wasn't something I was interested in doing long term. And obviously the opportunities that were given to me were awesome, and I recognize that, but it was just something I needed to do as far as making a change.
And I wanted to hear your thoughts, Eric, about, we've had two big losses to the dirt racing community, no matter it's, with the big block modifieds and the dirt late models, Barefoot, Bob McCready, and then also Scott Bloomquist, not too recent here. Talk about those two guys. Those are two influential drivers and pioneers of the dirt racing scene, and what they meant to you.
Barefoot Bob is a legend up here. I remember watching him, and he was my guy. He was the guy I would keep my eyes on. When I was 5 or 10 years old, somewhere in that range. Yeah, he was definitely the man. I haven't really seen him much the last handful of years. He hasn't been going to the tracks and stuff. But as far as success and someone you try to idolize, he's definitely one of them. And then the deal with Scott's that's sad in its own right. It's just one of those things. You never know what's going to happen, or that's just one of those things where you just got to look at that and live every day to its fullest, and because you're not really sure if you're going to get your your next day. So you just got to live every one like it's your last one. And as far as what he's done for the late model stuff, there was a run there for many years where he was the guy. He was the dominant one. I mean, if you seen him come in to the track, and you pretty much knew that you didn't really have a chance. He his technology was far ahead at the time. In between his ears was sharp, and later in his years, obviously you've seen him crest over a little bit and didn't have quite the success, but it's hard not to recognize how dominant he was, and how much of a businessman he really was too, with his chassis business. And I don't think there's anyone that's ever sold as many merchandise as him. And he was a man with a plan, and he stuck with it, and see where he ended up.
And bringing it back around here to present day, Dirt World Finals coming up in a few weeks. What's your plan, I guess, going into that event? Do you have anything going on before that, or what do you do to get ready for the big Dirt World Finals at Charlotte?
Yeah, we're definitely gonna go to Charlotte. I'm not sure if we're gonna race before we get there or not. Just kind of have to see things go. I got to take this weekend off. I got a wedding to go to this weekend, but there is a couple options after that. But we'll just kind of see how things play out.
As far as future goals for yourself, Eric, obviously you've accomplished a lot of things throughout your career and various race cars. Do you feel like you're pretty set home running the big blocks and small block modifieds, and that's what you're going to stick out until the day you hang up the wheel?
I mean, it's certainly looking that way. I'm very happy with what I'm doing. Have awesome sponsors and partners that make it all possible for me. And without them, I wouldn't be able to do it. But you never know what the future can hold, like I said before. But right now that's how things are going, and I'm perfectly happy doing that. And but you never know, might have to move unexpectedly and find something else to run and race, or this could be home forever. We'll just have to wait and see.
Eric, before we let you go, we really appreciate your time coming on here with us. We always end with our DJD Gear Rapid Fire segment. We've got 10 questions here for you, and we're just going to rattle them off, and you come up with the first thing that comes to your mind. So if you're ready, we'll get started.
Let's do it.
All right. What's your earliest memory at a racetrack?
My earliest memory at a racetrack would have to be the Niagara Falls indoor races. That's how I picked up racing. My dad took me there. It was like 20 minutes away, and they had the TQs and the go-karts racing. And I'm like, maybe I should give this a try. And got a go-kart, and the rest is history.
Man, I miss those races. My dad used to take me down for something to do during the winter. Those were great.
Yeah, we go to the it's a casino now, but
yeah,
we go there here and there, and you can, from memory, you can kind of still see where everything was and how it was. But it's a shame, but it is what it is.
All right. What's a race car you haven't tried racing yet that you'd love to try?
Man, I don't know. I think the dirt late models are pretty neat. As far as the technical side of that, it seems like a lot of work and far above my thinking capabilities. But those really look like awesome machines. The UMPs are pretty neat too. Those are intriguing to me. Like I said, I live in the wrong spot to do anything like that, but those look pretty neat.
All right, what's your favorite racetrack?
I don't know. It depends. You think you have a favorite racetrack, you show up, you get your ass kicked, and then it's not really your favorite track anymore. So I don't know. It's just where you can find success at that night afterwards. It feels like your favorite track.
All right, give us a couple of races that you haven't won yet that are on your bucket list.
I don't really have any. It's just I go, to races, and I have the mentality that I'm going to try to win each one I'm in, but I don't really have, goals and vision like that.
Away from racing, give us a movie you can watch over and over again.
I think Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, is my favorite movie.
What's your pet peeve while driving your street car?
Filling up the gas tank. Don't like that.
All right. Selfishly, where are the best wings in Western New York?
My baby's making me some right now. I think that's the one.
All right. Noticed we got a couple on your website here that we were checking out. You're a big Alex Ovechkin fan. He needs 42 goals this year to pass Gretzky. Can he do it this year?
He can, yeah. He can. He's gotten 50 goals a season countless times. He can do it. If he doesn't, he'll do it next year.
Yeah. All right. And on your website, there's a superstition listed that there's no peanuts in the pits. What's the story behind that?
There's a couple stories. It just doesn't. As soon as I see something, it just seems like it. Just things unravel. It just doesn't go. The way I envisioned it. That stems back from a long time ago too. So we try to stay away from that. But I'm not gonna lose my mind if I see peanuts laying around. But I might take them and go take them somewhere and get them out of the area anyway.
All right, last one, and this was written in here by a fan. Who is your favorite current asphalt modified driver?
It has to be Jake Klotz. It has to be.
Yeah, that's the answer he was expecting. So, all right, Eric, we appreciate your time with us here today. We're looking forward to seeing you at Charlotte, and best of luck the rest of the year.
Hey, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
So thanks again to Eric for being on today's podcast. We really appreciate it and wish him the best of luck. We want to finish today's podcast letting you guys know to check out our boy Darren Dryden on Instagram at Darren Dryden12 and DJD_gear on Instagram. You guys can go over there and enter to win a free racing suit. So obviously it's the end of the year. You guys are probably, if you race yourself, you're getting ready for the next 2025 season. Get a fresh new suit for free. And, you can't beat it. Enter your name in the hat. Go follow the instruction on his page. And see, maybe you get lucky and win. So we wanted to let you guys know about that. And then thank Darren for all his support for our podcast.
And just before I'll interrupt, Jacob, the contest is also on Facebook. I know you don't have Facebook, so you probably didn't see it there, but it is also on Facebook. If you don't have Instagram, you can enter the contest, and it's the same rules apply, so you can just go there too.
Perfect. And I know Shaun put out some teasers on our Instagram page today. So Shaun, talk about what we might have coming up.
Yeah, in a couple of weeks, we're looking to get some a modified family on with a strong history. We just talked to ERICK RUDOLPH. There's another family of racers, fourth generation now, actually, out of the Northeast that we're looking to get on. So I don't want to confirm anything yet. We'll probably do that next week once we get the dates all set in stone. But looking forward to it. It's something that I've wanted to do since we started doing this podcast, and we'll announce it when it's set in stone, but I'm pretty excited.
No, we just appreciate everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you guys for episode 41.
After the Scales is proudly presented by DJD Graphics. From commercial and personal vehicles to racing bikes and cars of all makes, models, and disciplines, DJD Graphics can fully customize your vehicle to suit your needs. For more information, contact Darren and visit his website at www.djdgraphics.com. Tell him Shaun and Jacob sent you to receive special rates.